I think we have an excellent education system. I went to public school here in Nigeria. So I went to Nigerian Military School, Zaria. Went to Command Children's School down to Road. We moved to Kaduna eventually. I do not know anyone of my generation that went to private school in Nigeria. We all went to public schools. A lot of those physicians that the Honorable Abike Dabiri has referenced went to public school in Nigeria and are able to pass the most complex certification exams in the United States and the United Kingdom and in Canada and get to apply their trades over there. So I would say that the foundation really is creating a strong education system. So it starts with K to 12, university education obviously as well, but that foundation, so kindergarten through grade 12, it is not necessarily a negative, right? We live in a global economy when people, again, leave and come back, or leave and maybe do not come back. Borders are permeable, and that's okay. We think of the exchange of trade primarily in terms of goods, but when people leave, they're providing services, right, as well. So if we think about it, we live in a global world where professionals want to move to whatever jurisdiction where they can apply their trade and be the best, and it's okay, maybe make the most that they can as well, because that allows them, the disposable income that they can use to invest, they can use to give back, they can use to contribute in other ways, really fund their passions, right? I'll say most people might not be doing their passion for work. They want to work so they can fund their passion. Yes. So encouraging that movement, building a thriving and a really strong education system so that when people leave, if they choose to, but if they stay as well, which I think is the question, they can obviously help strengthen, the social fabric of Nigeria, but also the economic contributions as well. I'll maybe leave it on this note. When I went to school as well, we got to interact with people from all parts of the country. It was multicultural Nigeria, right? So I think an education system where people are encouraged to explore the country. I mean, go to school. I'm not sure if the federal, government college system still exists.
The unity schools.
If they're not thriving, I'll say, that's an investment that needs to be made. Maybe that's an assignment for the chair of Nigeria.
They're not thriving as they should.
Yes,
as they should.
Yeah. So just fundamentally, it's strengthening our education system so that people who are here can succeed. But potentially, maybe they can also succeed if they choose to look beyond
the borders.
Believe it or not, we had actually this similar problem in the state of New York, right? And so we're here, it's somewhat, people going to other countries. In a country as big as the United States, it's people leaving to go to other states. And so although we kind of work collaboratively as a country, but there's still competition between, especially neighboring states, right? And so we found it was kind of like two populations, right? One, entrepreneurs, but also young people. And for young people, there were kind of two specific things. One were economic opportunities for them, but the other thing is the housing market, right? Which may not be as big of a deal, but in the state of New York, housing is a critical issue. And when I'm hearing globally that prices of housing is going up. So to the degree we can figure out ways to provide housing, right? So that you graduate from college, you get married, you're not living in your parents' basement. This is what happens in New York, right? And then for entrepreneurs, it's really about opening up pathways for entrepreneurship, right? And I know several Nigerian entrepreneurs here.
You have the largest concentration of Nigerians in New York.
Yes.
Well, yes. I think it's between us and Houston.
I think it's
Houston, Texas.
Yeah, Houston may have a larger, and then Atlanta is also coming up very, very quickly into the United States. But the issue around providing entrepreneurial access is important, right? And it's important in New York. I know it's important here for entrepreneurs I've talked to here, of saying. And I don't want to be critical of the Nigerian government because I still want to be here for a couple more days. But no, but all of us have a part to play. And I know in New York we don't do as much. Like in New York, our big issue is regulations. We just put too many barriers on things and too many regulations on things that don't allow businesses to be able to operate the way they need to in order to have a kind of profit that you need, and not just to have a lifestyle, but then also, again, entrepreneurship. Even in a place like New York, small business entrepreneurship I'm talking about, right? Now, we like to think about New York or America particularly as like large corporations, but the vast majority of employment is actually done by small businesses. That is, businesses with less than 100 employees, right, and less than $2 million in sales, right? So that's where people are like making, creating full-time jobs at a living wage, right? And so those kind of opportunities, both again for young people with access to economic opportunity and housing, and then for entrepreneurs in terms of pathways, contracts, maybe with the government, local or federal, all become ways that we keep people who have those talents here or attract people back because they see there's an opportunity for them.